The entity flying over the top of my head, that's P.O.C. I'm going to put this on X, and that's the entity that's gang stalking. This demon is monitoring inside of the library on behalf of the same police department, by the way. All right, the African American with the dread. He is monitoring with the entity that's engaging by helicopter, doing so while I am capturing it on podcast, and they're engaging. I'm capturing images of the people of the state who I'm documenting by license plate. License. Stalking with Ontario PD, 8ZSL337, and that's again the entity that's stalking in the path with light during the day. Impossible light activity is moving against me while they engage in this conduct, which is never the product of sunlight. And covering up the fake sun does not change that. This is a method of stalking with light, and the clock is audible noise, and they're monitoring on my device. Engaging in surveillance in their vehicle, stalking with the Ontario Police and the airport, 9TDP376, and this is exactly what the entity was doing at the ARCO. As I'm documenting the people of the state and the Ontario International Airport engaging in what is the perpetual sex offense, engaging what is harassment and terrorism, in concert with the Ontario International Airport. That airport board and that airport executive team are accountable for what is ongoing terrorism. And doing so with the Ontario International Airport is the airport board, the airport executive team threatening my life and safety while I'm documenting them as the terrorists that they are. And they're going to be subject to deportation as well as every other terrorist that is engaging in the P.O.C. All right, this is P.O.C. The airport that is engaged in does not include taking off over the 224 North Euclid Avenue. And the entity is engaging in this about approximately every 90 seconds. P.O.C. That's the P.O.C. All right, and this is the City of Ontario targeting by the airport and targeting by the police department that are going to be removed from existence based on the terrorism that they are engaging in. And this is, again, criminal conduct that Jason Isaac feels that the federal government is engaging in, sharing in, with regard to what is the system of gang stalking, which is committed in furtherance of murder. The entity engaging what is gang stalking me and doing things like assault and battery with a deadly weapon, and it's supposed to be an accident, and it's not, when you're targeting with the City of Ontario International Airport, and you're targeting with the Ontario Police Department, and you're targeting in the specific environment which Wells Fargo shares in at 240 North Euclid Avenue. The people of the state are gang stalking and targeting while they're engaging in the elements of monitoring, and they're doing so as a city-wide effort. Okay, this is providing, again, jurisdiction of the federal government to deport every immigrant in the City of Ontario that are sharing and targeting with the state, because that's what the City of Ontario represents. They're doing so as a documented pattern, stalking me at the ARCO by helicopter, stalking me at the Ontario Town Square, which is an ongoing, frequently documented occasion under what is the fake sun that's present at 6 in the morning and present at 6 in the evening, where this same entity is engaged in the pattern of stalking in the path with light. That's what their vehicles represent. That's what the amplified noise is for the purpose of supplementing what is the covered up fake sun, which you know exactly where it is. The fake sun is over me, and that Ovid Family Community Library is where it's at when I walk inside of that entrance. That's a demon at the entrance maintaining flashing light. They are monitoring. That's P.O.C. That's the demons that are engaging in what is the pattern of conduct surrounding the perimeter with light activity. This is 10:03 a.m. This is going toward the prosecution of the Ontario Board and the Ontario Executive Team that are engaging in the same threat that the entity, as I document the demons of Wells Fargo, 8ZVX813, I believe. As I'm documenting the people of the state by license plate, the Ontario and Police Department engages in what is terrorizing and harassing me by stalking me by helicopter. As I'm documenting the terrorists of the Ontario International Airport, the entity is engaged in what is stalking and terrorizing by Ontario Police Department, and doing so with regard to what is evidence of clear targeting. Okay, Southwest Airlines is engaged in what is amplified audible activity and relevant positioning amongst what is the ongoing elements of monitoring, including light activity. This is the entity that's targeting at the Ontario Town Square, which is the pattern of conduct, where no planes are taken off, and the prosecution of the state will show that pilots taking off from the airport at 2500 Airport Drive are not they're not flying at that elevation. It's not creating that audible noise with regard to the zoning, with regard to the agreement between the city and the airport. The airport is targeting in conformity to the pattern of conduct. This is the Nephilim that are engaged in monitoring, and this is the inhumane means of surveillance in concert with the entity that is the Ontario Police Department threatening my life and safety. And Southwest Airlines and every other airline is sharing in that targeting. And it is committed in furtherance of murder. There are no planes taken off. There are no pilots taken off hovering over the 280 North Lemon Apartments, over the Ontario Town Square. Neither is there any sun that's going to both rise and set at the same address, which is what the body of evidence shows. And the Ontario Board and the Ontario Executive Team are going to be prosecuted for the unlawful threat that they pose while they are being documented as the terrorists that they are, including while the police department targets me as I document them by name. This is going toward their prosecution. This is P.O.C. It's 10:05 a.m. The Ontario Town Square, 224 North Euclid Avenue, where the entity is targeting day and night like the Ontario International Airport has been documented for years. P.O.C.